if even you had come like you had suggested, that would have been okay also. So we're in the material world and things do happen. Yeah. I like your background.
Yeah.
Well, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu. And all glories to assembled Vaishnavi devotees. We thank you all for being here today. It's Friday, the 19th day of September 2025, the last day of the busy week. And it is our honor to have His Grace ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu to be with us to share Krishna Katha. I don't know, but for some reason, this past few days, I've been thinking of your precious Gurudev so much. I guess because I was watching Srila Prabhupada's pastimes that His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj so beautifully enacted the Abhay Charan series. So it's nice that we could have you representing him, sharing Krishna Katha with us. Today, for one or other reasons, lots of the verses have no purpose. So there are quite a number of verses to cover today. So we may put the verses on the screen and then you take it over from here, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
I do a little bit of Jaya Radha Madhava.
What did you say?
I'll do a little bit of Jaya Radha Madhava and then we.
Okay, sure, yes. Yes.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Yogopiyana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopiyana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranyana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranyana Yamuna Tira Vanutari Yamuna Tira Vanutari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranyana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranyana Yamuna Tira Vanutari Yamuna Tira Vanutari Shri Ram Prabhu ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayesha Rudreshu Nityam Bhagavato Sevaya Bhavati Uttamaashloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiti. So today we are reading from the third canto, chapter 12, verse number 50. In my opinion, this is the most challenging few verses of whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And third canto is the most challenging of the whole 12 cantos. And these verses are the most challenging verses. Because you literally don't know what to say. But anyways, so we'll be reading from verse number 50 to 57. So I'll read the translations out. O son of Kurus, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of the sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he seriously began to consider how the population could be increased. Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of my being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny. While he was thus absorbed in contemplation and was observing the supernatural power, two other forms were generated from his body. They are still celebrated as the body of one. The two newly separated bodies united together in a sexual relationship. Out of them, the one who had the male form became known as Manu, named Swayambhu. So he was known as the Swayambhu Manu. And woman became known as Satarupa, the queen of the great soul Manu. Thereafter, by sex indulgence, they gradually increased generations of population one after another. O son of Bharata, in due course of time, he, that is Manu, begot in Shatarupa 5 children, 2 sons, Priyabrata and Uttanapada, and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, Vasu. The father Manu handed over his first daughter, Akuti, to the sage Ruchi. The middle daughter Devahuti to the sage Kardama. And the youngest Prashruti to Daksha. From them all the world filled with population. Now I go into the purport question of Prabhupada. The history of the creation of the population of the universe is given here. Brahma is the original living creature in the universe, from whom were generated the Swayambhu Manu and his wife Shataru. From Manu, 2 sons and 3 daughters were born, and from them all the population in different planets has sprung up till now. Therefore, Brahma is known as the grandfather of everyone. And the personality of Godhead, being the father of Brahma, is known as the great grandfather of all living beings. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse number 39, as follows. Vayuryamogni varuna shashanka prajapate stvam prapitamascha Namo namaste stu sahasrakritva punnaschavuyopi namo namaste. You are the Lord of the air, the supreme justice Yama, the fire Agni, and the Lord of rains Varuna. You are the moon Shashank. You are the great grandfather Prapitamas. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 3rd canto, 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nayam Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Upesha Gopikanto Radhakanto Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shirade Vrindavaneshwari Vishodhanustute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nilachala Nidhyasayo Nityayo Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadra Bhimjannathaya Te Namaha वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो राम राम हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं परमानन्दमाधवम् ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त नामिने श्रीकृष्ण विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय श्रीमते इंद्रधूमस्वामी यते नामिने हरे कृष्ण. Am I audible, loud, clear, and understandable?
Yes.
So when I was preparing for this class, I was looking at these verses and I was thinking that last time I put Sahadev Prabhu in a fix due to a personal exigency and I could not be here. So Sahadev Prabhu put me in a fix by giving me these 5 verses. We look at these 5 verses and you will start thinking, what on earth can I do? Because what does these 5 verses say? These 5 verses say that Brahma, he tried to do a lot of creation, right? In this chapter earlier, you have found out. He tried to create the Kumaras, he tried to create this person, that person. He created Rudra, he created so many things. But the creation was not getting populated. So the only thing he's thinking about is how to have children. Here in 4 regulative principles, they teach us that, you should not be thinking of, any kind of material desires and material unions. You should only be chanting. So why is Brahma not chanting and he's thinking only of begetting children? He's our Acharya. We are Brahma Madhava Gauriya Sampradaya. So our Acharya, instead of chanting the whole day, is sitting and thinking. His whole day, Brahma's whole day, I'm saying, not our whole day. Brahma's whole day, Brahma is sitting and thinking, why am I not having enough children? Imagine what will happen to you if you sit in your home and think, why am I not having enough children? I hope none of you are thinking like that, because Brahma is thinking like that. Are you any of you thinking like that? I hope none of you are thinking like that. Anyways. So Brahma is thinking like that. And then out of his frustration, 2 new entities are taking birth. It is not that he has prayed for 1,000 more years, asking the Lord to give him a boon, to send him 2 more children, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent him, prayed, send me 1 son who can assist me in spreading. So Brahma is not doing that also. It's not that Brahma is doing sadhana for 1,000 years and saying, Lord, give me just 2 more children to beget more progeny. He's not doing that also. He's just feeling frustrated. Out of his frustration, 2 children are born. And then these two children are born, one is male, one is female. They cannot control their lust. They immediately start getting united. And then they start having children. They have how many children? 5 children. Not a matter of joke. Having 5 children. So after having 5 children, these 5 children are then getting married. To do what? To have more children. So where is Krishna consciousness in this? Where is Krishna consciousness in this? Huh? If somebody only reads these 5 verses, or even this one chapter, they'll be like, where on earth is Krishna consciousness in this? They are begetting children. And they're only thinking of having children. Here, if I am trying to have children or thinking of have children, then people are telling me so many bad things and adjectives they're using against me. I am doing what our Acharya has done. Right? So I was keeping on thinking, what on earth should I say? Then I was reading Prabhupada's purport. And 2-3 things struck me. First and foremost, you must always remember that it was Brahma's devotional service to fill up Krishna's creation with living entities. That is his seva. So if Srila Prabhupada or your respective Guru Maharaj gives you a free farm of 100 acres and says, in next 10 years, this whole place should have only your children, then you are well within your rights to beget Krishna conscious children as per the order of your spiritual master. Then you will not say, no, Guru Maharaj, 4 regulative principles, I am not interested. The most important thing is not what we understand or interpret of a service. Service is simply following the spiritual master's order. Of course, there are conditions, things like the spiritual master has to be following the parampara. The spiritual master himself has to be a bona fide spiritual master. Those things are there. Sahadev Prabhu, I am sure he is already writing down notes. He'll ask me, how will we know, Prabhuji, that my spiritual master is giving me a bona fide order? Right, Sahadev Prabhu, you wrote the question already? See? By now I have understood what questions come from. So in reality, Prabhu, we are not supposed to judge our spiritual master. So we don't know whether it is coming or not. Right? So there is a trust factor involved in this. Have faith, have complete trust. Okay. As long as the whole system of ISKCON, GBC, this setup, the whole thing is having trust, you have to have trust. Tomorrow, if something happens, then it happens. At least you have been honest from your side. Rather than to speculate today and not serve your spiritual master, it is better you start and remain honest and dedicated to your spiritual master. That's all I can say. Then I was reading this purport and I was thinking that except this, without this purport, if somebody only read the translation, of these few verses, people will think What has Krishna done? Krishna has not done anything. Where is Krishna in creation? Brahma is doing everything. He is thinking, he is begetting children. Everybody is his children. This king is his children. That queen is his child or grandchild. They are all getting married and they are begetting more children. So all the hard work and headache has gone into the patriarch of the family. Who is the patriarch of the family? Brahma. Where is Krishna coming into the picture? Very easily we can get that kind of a thought process. Right? It's very easy for us to think like that. Krishna, in Bhagavatam, it is clearly saying Brahma is doing all creation. Where is Krishna done creation? Except for in Krishna Leela, where Krishna has the whole Yadava children clan. Otherwise, where has Krishna done creation? Krishna has not done any creation. Can you give me one pastime? Sadhya Prabhu, where Krishna has done creation?
I don't think I have any.
Technically, Krishna has not done any creation. Only in Brahma Samhita, when Brahma is saying that, I get inspired by the sound of the flute and everything, that is where we know that Krishna has done creation. Otherwise, where has Krishna done? All these Vaishnava people, they're all mad people. They're not reading their own books properly and they're saying Krishna is God. Somehow or the other, they're saying Krishna is God. They have not read their own books properly. The book it is directly written, Brahma has created everything. But most important thing is that the proof of the existence of the Father, of the identity of the Father, is the witness of the Mother. There is no greater proof. Right? So if Brahma himself is saying that I have not done anything, everything is coming from Krishna, then we better shut up and listen. Because Mother knows the Father better, right? Even before creation happened. Right? So Krishna is there in everything. Krishna is the brain behind these creations. He is the one who has done the whole designing of it. Brahma doesn't do the designing. Krishna has designed it. If any of you have worked into engineering, especially civil engineering or mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, you will know that it is one engineer who does the drawing. One engineer does the engineering drawing. They are known as the design engineer. They do all the nice drawings. And then there is one engineer who is sitting on the field and getting those drawings executed. Both of them are civil engineers. But one is a design engineer, one is a site engineer. And a design engineer's value, even in today's contemporary world, is always higher than the site engineer. It's always more prestigious to be the designer. Because on his calculations, the whole thing resides. So even in this universe, if one Eiffel Tower, one Statue of Liberty, one Aztec Pyramid, one Giza Pyramid, one Taj Mahal, By the way, if all of you don't know about it, I am talking about the 7 wonders of the world. Man-made 7 wonders of the world. All these 7 wonders of the world, we know for sure is made by somebody. They did not just come out of nowhere. But the first wonder of creation is living entity himself, for whom we don't give any credit to anyone. For the 7 wonders of the world, we give credit to somebody, right? French engineers gifted the Statue of Liberty to New York, to the United States. Somebody designed and made the Eiffel Tower. So we give credit to the person who has conceptualized it, the person who has drawn it, the person who has designed it. We give credit to all these people. But the most wonderful thing in this universe is the human body. Not only the human body, any living entity actually. The human body is the most evolved format, consciously, right? In terms of consciousness, the humans are the topmost of the species, right? So, in fact, I was talking with a doctor the other day, last Saturday actually, and we were discussing this, that, see, nature, Prakriti or nature, if something goes wrong here and there, nature finds a way to balance it and correct it, right? If something is a little not okay, nature will do some earthquake, something, and nature will correct itself. And nature will prevail. There is no force greater than Prakriti or nature. Right? Technically speaking, I mean, I'm speaking in terms of scientific language, there is no force greater than nature's force. If nature wants something, nature will do it. Nature will correct it. But, so when it comes to human bodies, so the doctor is saying, if your heart is a little weak or your hands are not working, or something has happened to your kidney, am I audible? Yeah. Or something has happened to your kidney, something in your body is not completely okay. Nature will find a way of getting it done properly. Because we are Prakriti itself. We are not separate from nature. We are also Krishna's creation. We are also natural, I mean, if you don't trust, if you don't believe Krishna exists, even then we are a part of nature. You don't have to be a Vaishnava to accept this simple, basic truth. Right? It's a very basic thing. We are a part of nature. Right? So if nature has a way of correcting everything, balancing everything, the nature has given that strength within us also. There is a natural correction that will happen. So this doctor was saying that when medicinal treatments happen, a huge part of the medicinal treatments, when you have a problem with your hand, you start treating only the hand. And in that case, you forget what is happening to the knees. So when you are taking medicines for your hands, your knees start getting calcinated. And after a few years of treatment on your knees, hands, your knee problem starts. Right? That is how scientific progress happens. That is how medical science works. Right? Why this problem? Because we do not accept the fact that we are Krishna's children. We don't accept the fact that we are a part and parcel of nature. We should follow a natural law. So he was talking about things like, cross-organ talk. So when one part of the body, you are doing something, the other part of the body is also responding to it, reacting to it. So the scientific term for this is cross-organ talk. Within your body, all the organs talk. And amongst the ones that talk the most dominating voice is the voice of the mind. If your mind is not happy, half your treatments will not work. That is why we see that when medical treatment is happening, it is very important to have the patient in the proper state of mind. Otherwise, medical what I'm basically trying to say is that we ourselves, as a part of creation, we ourselves are a wonder of this world, and we don't recognize it. We don't recognize it. The most complicated machine in this world is the human body. So the poorest man in this world owns the most complicated machinery in the world because he has his own human body. Right? The most advanced filtration system is our kidneys. We all have it, but we don't own up to it. Because we do not recognize the potential and the potency that Krishna has put inside us, we don't realize or we don't appreciate the artist behind the art. That's my basic point. The engineer behind the design, or rather the design behind the machinery. Let's put it that way. The design behind the machinery. Because we don't appreciate the machinery. How many of you have seen modern art? Have you seen modern art? You have a white canvas and you throw a few bottles of color on the wall and it becomes modern art. For many of us, it is a joke, right? We think modern art is a joke. So whenever we see modern art, we laugh at it and we walk away. Without realizing that particular piece of modern art may be worth $2 billion. Right? So only he who appreciates that art and values it for that $2 billion will value the artist behind it. Right? Those who don't have the eyes to see that art, for him, we all think we are a modern artist. I will buy a canvas, I will throw a few bottles of color. What is there in this? We think like that. So we don't appreciate it. We don't value it. So we also don't care about the artist behind the art. Similarly, when it comes to our own human creation, life creation, because we don't value it, we are not able to see it. We are not able to recognize it. So we don't care about the engineer who has designed it. Right? We don't care about the engineer who has designed it. So it really doesn't matter to me whether I came from Brahma or I came from Krishna. How does it matter? Govinda Prabhu is here, who drives every time. Is he still driving? So Govinda Prabhu will tell me, his name is Govinda Prabhu, right? I'm not, no?
Yes.
See, I don't forget.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah. So Govinda Prabhu will tell me, Aradhya Bhagavan Prabhu, I have to drive my truck whatever comes. How does it matter if I came from Brahma or I came from Krishna? I will have to drive my truck. I will have to take care of my family. Doesn't matter to me. Well, that is a fact. Doesn't matter to me. That is what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is saying. Only when your basic needs are fulfilled that you can get into esteem level, and then slowly you go up to the level of self-actualization. That is the rule of the society. That is how communities develop. We are all community members. We are not external of Maslow's law of hierarchy. So yes, you are right. But also the other side, it is true that we cannot always remain in the Maslow's law of hierarchy on the lower rung. We have to go up. Whether or not you are a devotee, you have to go up. You don't need to be a devotee to accept the fact that you need to move from the level of, what do you call it? Basic needs to esteem, from self-esteem to love, from love to self-actualization. Right? You don't need to be a devotee to accept it. If you acknowledge the fact that making progress is the natural thing that I have to do, then the most natural format of progress is to increase our conscience and consciousness. And Krishna consciousness gives us that opportunity. Srila Prabhupada has opened the window for us to access that opportunity of expanding our consciousness and making progress in our lives tangibly. But we are so stupid that we are thinking that the diamond is a piece of coal or a hard rock with which coal is being made. There was a story, in Africa, there are a lot of coal mines and there are a lot of diamond mines, right? So there was a story. So one lady in her home, every day she would be breaking coal for cooking, right? For cooking, she needs coal. So she would be breaking coal. So she uses different stones, different stone utensils, tools to break coal. And every piece, every utensil, naturally, they have a wear and tear. After a few days, it wears out. So one day, she found a shiny stone with which very easily you can break coal. And there is no wear and tear. No chipping to it. It's a very hard stone, a big one. So she is using it. For years, she has used it. Since her childhood, since her youth years, she has been using it. Now when she grew old, country has progressed. The white man has come to Africa in search of diamond. That's all the white man cares about, right? That is why Burkina Faso is so happy about picking Frenches. Anyways, so what am I saying? Yeah. So time has progressed in 50 years. She is still using that shiny stone to break coal. Now one foreign explorer, white man, came to Africa looking for coal, looking for diamond here and there. And finally, he landed in that village, very hungry, and he landed in that lady's house. Anyway, the white man does not consider black men human beings back in those days. That is a different point altogether. Now the whole game has changed. So, he landed in her house. He's thirsty. He needs food. So the lady is cooking for her. So she goes to break coal and she takes her stove. And this guy sees the stone and his eyes are dazzling. He takes the stone and he keeps jumping. You know, this is what I have come for. So many years I have been walking in the jungles of Africa, fighting mosquito, cholera, this, that, all the wild animals for this one stone. And this lady is using it to break stone because that is diamond. He gave his whole life searching for that one stone. And this one stone is in her house. For this lady, it is just a tool. Why? Because she doesn't have the education to know what is the difference between a diamond and a coin. You know, there are sessions in ISKCON which is named as Getting the Eyes to See God. Have you heard about it? There are seminars in ISKCON. Especially in ISKCON India, there are these seminars by Radhyshyam. Getting the eyes to see God. What is that eye? It's the eye of knowledge. First, you must know what you are looking for. You must know that you are looking for it. Right? So we have an opportunity to progress, but I need to first know that I want to progress. And how to progress, where to progress, what is progress? Does progress mean that, I will kill two deers instead of one deer today? Is that progress in the Maasai village? That is just a better bountiful day in the Maasai tribe, right? It's not progress. Again, does progress mean that the Maasai tribe stops living the traditional way and starts wearing the white man's suit and becomes the white man's servant? Oh, definitely not. Right? So what does progress actually look like? First of all, they have to know it. Because they were not educated, they were not knowing. So the white men have exploited the blacks, not only in Africa, in America, in India, in Southeast Asia, everywhere, wherever the white man could have exploited, they've exploited through their colonial rules. Right? What English did to the Indians in India, they did the same thing to Indians in Australia, I mean the Maoris in Australia and the Indians in America. The French did the same thing in Africa. The Belgians did the same thing in Congo. Right? The Danish did the same thing in Indonesia. Right? Basically, you don't give them the eyes to see. What is that eyes? The eyes is the jnana, the knowledge. And what is the supreme knowledge? That we are all children of God. Just a minute, my network is tripping. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just change my network and enjoy. Give me 1 minute.
All right. Hare Krishna. ARADHYA, Bhagavan Prabhu, you connected, but you are muted. Hare Krishna.
We were able to hear him pretty clearly.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Oh.
okay, good.
Is this better?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. No, my network was going up and down and I was seeing all of you fixed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Now we can hear you.
Okay. So, like I was saying, so we need to first know that we're looking for something. What is progress like? That basic knowledge needs to be there with us. And Srila Prabhupada is giving us that knowledge. When Srila Prabhupada was interviewed in the West, why have you come back to the West? He said the Westerners came back, taking everything from my country, leaving the most precious thing. What is the most precious thing? The knowledge of Krishna, the knowledge of the absolute truth. The knowledge of the absolute truth. That is the most basic thing and the most precious thing. Sometimes, we think, and many of you may be thinking that why is Prabhu saying all this? We know we are children of God, Krishna is God. It is one thing to actually know Prabhu. It is another thing to actually realize it. See, Vaishnavism is not a very complicated thing. We can complicate it ourselves by reading 20,000 books. This Maharaj, that Maharaj, this Goswami, that Goswami. We can read books after books and complicate our lives. Right? At the same time, we don't need to read anything. We just read Srila Prabhupada's books and we follow the process. We still end up in the same result. We don't need to complicate our lives. Our biggest problem is we want to complicate our lives. We want to complicate our lives. We want to purposefully not have enough faith in Srila Prabhupada's words and think that we are more intelligent than Srila Prabhupada. Right? My Guru Maharaj, Swami Bhakti Swami Guru Maharaj used to tell us, Prabhupada gave us everything. We don't need anything more than that. We just need to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Whatever we need outside Srila Prabhupada's books or outside, let's say, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and these kinds of books, if we need something from Rig Veda, something from some other Upanishad, whichever part is necessary, Srila Prabhupada has given us that in our purpose. Srila Prabhupada has given us in our purpose. We don't need anything more than that. We need to read what Srila Prabhupada has given, not only read, we need to actualize that knowledge. It is one thing to accumulate knowledge. Reading is just accumulation of knowledge. That too, it is not accumulation of knowledge. Half the time, we don't even retain what we have read. Right? We are accumulating knowledge. We are not living that knowledge, Once you accumulate knowledge and then you start living the knowledge, that is when you have gone to the level of realizing knowledge. It is like if those of us who know geometry, we know that the sum of two sides of a triangle is always, greater than the third side. We know that. After knowing that, If somebody is walking on the road and not taking the hypotenuse, but they are taking the two sides, perpendicular sides to walk on the road and thinking that the shortest route is using the sides of the triangle and not the hypotenuse, then he has only accumulated knowledge, he has not realized the knowledge. He has just accumulated the knowledge, he has not realized the knowledge. Same thing happens with us when we come to Krishna consciousness. We have accumulated this knowledge, we have not realized it. Because we are not living that knowledge. Right now we are in the stage of trying to live that knowledge. And all that we can do is just be sincere in that endeavor. Life will continuously throw challenges at us, move us away from that path, to make us disbelieve that knowledge. Life will throw challenges so that we don't believe that knowledge. We discard that knowledge. Our endeavor is to start living that knowledge. Only once we have started living that knowledge in reality, if in reality somebody really knows Krishna is the Lord and I am his servant, then he will automatically become a Shuddha Bhakta. He will automatically go to the stage of self-actualization. Right? He will truly be a devotee. Otherwise, we are all fighting between the level of Madhyama and Kanishta, more towards Kanishta. The more we think we know, the lower we come in the Madhyama Kanishta plane. The lesser we think we know, the humbler we are, the higher we go in the Madhyama Kanishta platform. Uttam Bhakti comes. For me, it is not coming. For many of you, it may be coming already. So our endeavor should be not to get bewildered. Should be to be honestly serving our spiritual master's words. So our endeavor, continuous endeavor should be towards that sincerity and with determination. This is the only thing we can do. Be sincere and be determined. Right? So anything else we can do, we cannot do anything else. We can only be sincere, we can only be determined in the process. Life will throw at us. We'll go away from ISKCON for a few months. And then again we come back. Like a child, wherever you throw him away, he'll come back to the mother. The prodigal son will always return to the father. Right? The cows that go out for herding in the day will find his way back home in the evening. The only thing you can do is be sincere and determined. That's all. And this is exactly what we learn from the life of my Guru Maharaj, Bhaktacharya Swami Guru Maharaj. You can read 1,000 books, you can read these Bhagavatam verses and you can get bewildered. Or you can submit yourself in front of your spiritual master and just sincerely you serve your spiritual master. Everything else will be taken care of. Everything else will be taken care of by the spiritual master. We don't need to worry about everything else because we do not have the capability to worry and solve. We can worry and go mad, but we cannot worry and solve. With that note, I open up this session for questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sri ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu, for sharing this depth of wisdom with us all today.
Okay, just one thing.
Please go ahead.
I would like to apologize to all the devotees because I did not get time to prepare much for this class because I was extremely busy with something, a very important service. I'm very happy to declare with all of you. I mean, that was the reason I was supposed to get late, but somehow I managed to be on time. Srila Prabhupada had made a desire that people should come to Sridham Mayapur. They should study Shastras, they should do research, and they should go back to their native places with a formal educational degree, like a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD. So finally, we have been able to successfully implement that. So today we signed a memorandum of understanding between ISKCON Mayapur and University in Calcutta. So now we are going to open up a PhD research center in Mayapur. So all of you can come and stay in Mayapur for a couple of years and go back home with a properly accredited, recognized PhD. Not just a certificate from ISKCON, which nobody recognizes. Srila Prabhupada wanted this. We have successfully made the first step for it today. So I seek all of your blessings and your support with your active participation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Because of that, I did not get time to prepare for this class. So I just did an intro to class.
It will be a disservice to render apology for speaking Bhagavatam. To me, speaking Bhagavatam simply means that we read the text, we read the translation, we read Srila Prabhupada's papers, and then we give our understanding and realization. That's all it is. And that is just what you did. So thank you so much. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, reflections, realizations, you may want to ask or share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you will be asked to unmute yourself to ask your question or share your reflections, realizations. Prabhu, I have this question. There is this saying that to err is human. And since Lord Brahma is a jiva, is a living entity, is there a chance that Lord Brahma himself could also make mistake in his creation? Like you were beautifully describing someone who designs the plan and then gives the plan to another engineer to build or construct a house. But sometimes the builder may make a mistake, even though the drawing is right in his head. And you have to make some adjustments. So even though the Supreme Lord has given the master plan to Lord Brahma, could it be that Lord Brahma, being a jiva, could make a mistake? And if he makes a mistake and other living entities suffers, then
okay, sorry, please complete.
Yeah, then do the living entities suffering as a result of Lord Brahma's error have any right to question the Lord Brahma that, hey, this is what happened to me and it's not my fault, it's your fault. What do we do in this regard? I think I had asked this question before and I don't remember I got a satisfactory answer. So if you may help in this regard. Hare Krishna.
There are 2-3 ways of looking at it. First of all, we must remember that Lord Brahma is a direct creation of the perfect being. Okay? So from that perspective, he'll always be perfect. Okay? Now the other aspect is if you were born in India with an Indian body, and I don't know if there is anyone here left. Okay, there's one devotee from Calcutta here, or two devotees from Calcutta here. Anyways, so if you're born in Indian body in India, we know one thing. You know why we have so many stories in the Puranas? Why Vishnu always has to come down to take care of the different asuras and the rakshasas? Because of Brahma's mistakes. He goes around giving boons, and Vishnu has to go around cleaning his boons. So he can make mistakes. Yes, he's also a jiva. He can make mistakes. He has made umpteen number of mistakes. You know. But then again, because the supreme karmic creation is designed by the Lord, so he's designed to make that mistake. In the whole Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Brahma gets bewildered, that is also by design of the Lord, because that is the perfect entity. So can Brahma make mistakes within the Jivatma stage? Yes, he can make mistakes, and he makes umpteen number of mistakes from a material perspective. But in the grand design of schemes, can he make mistakes? None of us can make any mistakes. Krishna is the one who controls everything.
Yeah. I'm thankful because the answer to the question makes sense to me, and yeah, thank you so much for the response. But we also want to formally recognize His Grace Shriman Mukunda Prabhu here in the house with us today. Prabhuji, thank you so much for being here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm really happy I had 2 days in a row that I had.
Yes, it's beautiful.
That I was able to come on. This is really always inspiring for me. Just my schedule becomes so difficult, it's hard to come on. Very wonderful class and very nice to meet you, at least virtually, Prabhuji. I unfortunately, health reasons, I've not been able to come to Parikrama for some years, but I'm hoping my health will be suitable, that I'll soon be able to come to Sri Mayapur Dham and, of course, to visit Braja Dham and so forth. Just one thing I did want to bring up, because we had a discussion once on our forum here, that sometimes it's couched that we should only read Srila Prabhupada's books, and I fully agree with that. One of the things that we find in Srila Prabhupada's books, and amazingly in the first canto, first verse purport, Srila Prabhupada lists about 10 sources that devotees should further their investigation of his teachings by referring to these sort of more, I think it's about 10 authors he cites and a few books. And then, of course, in Adi Leela, chapter 2, I think it's verse 117, he, and I guess it's because Srila Prabhupada always spoke contemporarily about particular things as they were going on in our society. So apparently it had gotten to Srila Prabhupada that devotees had recommended that there's no need to study the books of our Purva Acharyas, etc. So Srila Prabhupada addressed it in his purport, Adi Leela 2.117, in a very strong way. That I think we read it before. I don't think there's a need to go over it, but I would give that as a reference. That it is certainly by Srila Prabhupada's instruction in his books that we do try to take some effort and zeal to study the books of our previous acharyas based on his instruction in his books. I know when I was preaching in Africa that, by the grace of many temples that we had throughout the society, they donated books for Africa. That was the program at the time. And in the first sort of preaching facility we had in Surulere, in Nigeria, we had books stacked. I was there only with Brahmananda Prabhu, and we each had a room. But other than that, the living room was stacked from floor to ceiling with books. So I took a vow then that I would read every book and purport of our Srila Prabhupada. And that was like my vrat as part of my preaching there. And in going through, there were many things which I would always just write down as notes to check later. And then going back to Srila Prabhupada's books, because not one cursory reading is going to provide everything, but in going back through and seeing the references that he gave, many of those references illuminate what it was that Srila Prabhupada was giving in his writing. So, and we're very fortunate in society. I have very stalwart persons. Your Guru Maharaj, I've spoken to before, Srila Bhakti Charu Goswami Maharaj. He actually was here in Alachua when he entered his samadhi. So himself, but Albanu Swami, who I think is doing yeoman's work, because it's very difficult to translate adequately from Sanskrit language. I've seen different translations, and sometimes they're, here or there. But he's done a very excellent job on behalf of Srila Prabhupada to translate some of those works, and I think it would be highly beneficial for devotees after reading Srila Prabhupada's books thoroughly to check the resources that he gave in his purports. I think it's very enlightening and very important.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, I think we had touched on this theme some time ago, Adilila 2, 117, and I think 118 also, which is actually spoken by Krishna Das himself. And
I have a take on this actually. Sorry for interrupting you.
No. Go ahead.
My take is very simple.
Yeah.
We are simple devotees. We cannot chant 16 rounds properly. We may sometimes miss our Ekadashis. Hopefully, we don't slip our 4 regulative principles. That is how basic level we are. Right. So I compare myself with a kindergarten student or a junior school student. Now, when you study in a school, usually, I don't know about the United States. I know about India because I've studied here. And I am considered fairly highly educated in the Indian sphere. I am saying that. My understanding of the education system is this, that when you have a student who is going to school, and if he is not a very good student, okay, he's an average student, the teacher will continuously try to tell him that whatever I have taught you in class and whatever textbooks we have given you, please read that. Don't try to read something from the internet, something from somebody else, something from the newspaper, or whatever somebody is teaching in the next school. Don't accumulate information from 20 places. Accumulate whatever is there in one place. So you accumulate that knowledge from one place, you realize it, you become a better, you make a progress in terms of your intelligence. That is for the average student. Right. That does not in any way mean that these other sources which has been cut out are incorrect sources. It only means that this person is not ready to accept and process the information coming in from these different sources. Right. On the other side, once somebody reaches a level of maturity to process information from multiple sources, they are given those ways out. Right? Like when somebody is doing a PhD or a research or an MPhil degree or a master's by research degree, this same binding is opened up for them. Why? Because we know that this person has that level of maturity, or at least should be having that level of maturity. Right? And the whole thing comes, how do I know I have reached that level of maturity? It comes by my eligibility to be a part of that group of class, to be a part of that class, right? That is my eligibility. And that eligibility is decided by whom? By the teacher or the assessment authority, right? By the assessment authority, which in this case is the guru. In our parampara case, the teacher and the assessment authority is the Guru. So till I have my Guru Maharaj and the seniors, I mean, it's not always practical to have Guru Maharaj. It has to be seniors and our authorities. So it has to be done in a very careful, matured way so that we don't get bewildered. I don't chant 16 rounds properly, I cannot concentrate. And I have not read any of Srila Prabhupada's books properly. I don't even remember what he has written in Easy Journey to Higher Planets, Other Planets. And here I am trying to read Rupa Goswami's Sandarbha. Not Rupa Goswami, sorry. See? I have to even forget. Yeah. The Goswami's Sandarbhas.
Well, thank you, Shri ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu. I very well remember His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj. We were blessed. He was with us. He was on this platform just 2 or so weeks before he left the world. And he spoke to us so beautifully. And Maharaj said 2 things. He says, in this life, there are 2 things, needs and wants. Needs are things that are necessary to sustain life. So we need food, we need water. We do not need shoes, because without shoes, we can still live, we can still survive. But some of us may want shoes because it makes us feel good. And again, Maharaj was saying that needs are like food. We need to eat. We need to eat food to have energy to survive. And so when we need food to eat to survive, we eat food that are kind of a little heavy, solid, with good nutrients or nutrition to help us survive. And after we've had all these wonderful food, and then if we want some dessert, then we can have some ice cream. So Maharaj likened Srila Prabhupada's books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. These are the food. And any other book is considered to be like dessert. Needs in the sense that if we just concentrate on these 4 books, actually I think he mentioned 5 books. I don't remember the 5th one. But Gita, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. If we concentrate on these books,
Nectar of Instruction?
I think Nectar of Instruction, thank you. And we try to live by these 5 books. Whatever is required for us to go back to Godhead is there. But if we want to know other things because we are curious beings, then we can look into other books, other literatures. It's not like if you're reading these books, you don't have to read. If you want to, you can, but there are certain things that are necessary for our survival and for our spiritual survival. That is Gita, Bhagavatam, CC, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instructions. So this is my understanding, and this is what I try to do. I try to read.
There is another thing also, sorry to interrupt you. There is another aspect to this full discussion also.
Yeah.
There is something that I find very, very disturbing is that sometimes we in ISKCON, we are so fired up with Prabhupada that we start insulting our acharyas by saying that, we don't need to read those books. Why are you referring from those books? That is where I have a problem. I mean, it is absolutely right to concentrate on Srila Prabhupada's books. You don't need to insult them.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. See, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Chaitamrita does not give us everything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you need many of the pastimes, you have to go to Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Bhagavat, yes.
For many of the pastimes, you have to go to Chaitanya Mangal.
Yeah.
For many small things, you might have to go to, Kavi Karnapur's Gaur Ganadesh Deepika, where you have each of the acharyas listed out. So it is not wrong to refer them.
Yeah.
That there will always be reference books. That respect should be there. That is a very important thing. I think sometimes we lack it in this. That maturity to show that.
Yeah.
Respect.
I totally agree with you, and I believe lots of devotees will agree with you on that point. I saw Shubhavara Acharya Prabhu's hand up. Prabhu, did you still have something to ask or to share, please?
Hare Krishna, please my obeisance. I hope my voice is clear enough. I'm driving.
Oh, okay.
My voice clear? My voice clear enough?
Quite clear, yes, we can hear you.
All right, fine. So thank you, Prabhu. Very nice hearing you. Okay, I would say I share your view, about reading Prabhupada books. But of recent, I'm having I've not shared my position, but I have some realization that I would like to share with everyone. So there is some interested practitioners here where I am. And because they have been exposed through the internet to many spiritual Indian organizations, and to so many of our, Eastern, Buddha, Vaishnava institutions. So, including what do you call him? This guru who is very famous on the internet. Anyway, I forgot it. So one of the guys, he started using ChatGPT to try to find out which of these teachings is most useful and most relevant. Can you imagine that? And the guy was shocked. He came and shared that with me. He said, Prabhu, can you believe that ChatGPT said Prabhupada stands out among them all? That if you can just understand what Prabhupada is giving, you don't need anything else. My friend, asking a center who is comparing all different school of thoughts from India and that of Prabhupada. And this guy was just innocent. He wasn't like, he didn't know anything much, but he was just, because he said Prabhupada, he also said, because he had been used to, in his search for knowledge, he had learned so many things about chakra, about many other spiritual practices. And then when he got into ISKCON teachings, then on the internet, he also found so many other groups and with other teachings that some of them considered Prabhupada, ISKCON as being limited. So the guy had to go to ChatGPT to try to find out where he should really take shelter. And ChatGPT says, if I were you, I would just go by what Prabhupada asked him. So this is a very interesting realization, and I just feel that I should share with the devotees. I don't know how many of us are using ChatGPT to make inquiries, but it is becoming a tool that many people are using. Now, when I say that is to the side of reading Prabhupada books, fine. ChatGPT has given that kind of decision. But then, talking about educational system, in the future, our educational system is going to incorporate artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence, even right now, some people have already started incorporating that. And artificial intelligence actually broadens your scope of learning. So you will not have to be on just one thing. Is that
all right. His Grace. Yeah, you're breaking up. But
because I'm okay. Anyway,
yeah, because you're driving. Yeah, but okay, please.
Yeah, so that's it. That I mean, our scope of learning is going to change. It's going to broaden with artificial intelligence. But then if the same artificial intelligence is saying that one source can satisfy all our needs in the spiritual quest, that is very, very amazing. That is the point I'm driving at.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing that. Our precious speaker, His Grace ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu, we can't thank you enough. Of course, devotees, we should not forget that His Grace ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu is speaking to us from India, and it's quite late his time. So we're going to let him exit, and we'll bring this to a close. But what Sriman Vara Prabhu is saying is very interesting, and I will share some nice statement in this regard on the WhatsApp platform that talks about the importance and the relevance of Srila Prabhupada to the world. But no matter what, just like ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu said, as much as we honor Srila Prabhupada's teachings, Srila Prabhupada's books, should not in any way make us look down on other scriptures, particularly other Vaishnava writings. Like His Holiness Kadama Kanana Swami Maharaj instilled in us, the main important thing is to eat, to have energy. When you have energy, when you fall, then you take some dessert. So that is what we try to do. And of course, we are all devotees. We all try to do what we understand is working for us. If we know this works for us, then we do it. If this doesn't work for us, then we don't do it. So with that being said, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute themselves, and we all with one voice, one love, one heart, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest appreciation to our beloved speaker, His Grace ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all today. Jai. So please, you may all unmute. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mancha kalpa taranyascha, kripa sindhye vacha, patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories to His Grace ARADHYA Bhagavan Prabhu ki jai. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to assembled Vaishnava devotees ki jai.